Hi people, how you all? Be back to my YouTube channel. I'm Victoria Nanas. In case you're new here and in case you're returning, thank you very much. So as the title suggests, today I'm going to talk about the 10 lessons that I've learned during this lockdown season or period, now that it's even coming to an end in Uganda. And not only in Uganda, it has actually been eased in most of the countries. Some do not have it anymore and others have eased the lockdown. And we all know why we got to this point. It is because of coronavirus. Now, point number one is we need God to survive. You people, we have made it this far. We have gone through the lockdown. We have walked all this period that we did not know will come because of God. If it wasn't for God, we wouldn't have survived this period. But you know what? He loves us, and because he loves us, he has seen us through this period, and he's still seeing us through so many periods and through so many seasons that are yet to come, so many uncertainty periods and so many certainty periods. He will still see us through, and we will survive because we need him to survive. And you know, he's our everything, so we give that glory back to him because he has seen us through and he's still seeing us through so many seasons. Point number two is change is a fact of life. Now, I got to know this particular point way back when I was in school, but then it used not to make a lot of sense. But this time around, it made a lot of change. Imagine you people, 2 months back, no one knew that we would be in a lockdown. No one knew that people would lose jobs. No one knew that their salaries would be decreased. No one knew that we would be in lockdowns. But you know what? It happened. Change happened. When change happens, it can be either positive or negative. So to some people it was positive, to other people it was negative. To people who have started up, of course, businesses during this time, it has been positive. To people who have lost their jobs, whose salaries have been decreased, who are not able to go to work, of course it changed negatively. But do you know what? The way you handle change when it comes is what matters, not the change that has come. Yes, now it has come, but what do you do about that change is what you need to look into. What are you doing about that change in case it is negative? What are you doing about it? How are you going to survive that change? That is what matters. Number three is valuing people, valuing jobs, valuing people's work. Now, people who have not lost their jobs, people who are still being paid salary, this is the time, or this time taught us more than ever that we actually need those jobs and we should value them. People who are not working at all because your job was put to a certain stop during the lockdown, you now look at your job and you're like, okay, I now value my job. And when you go back, you're going to give it a lot of respect. When it comes to home, in case you did not value the people that you stay with, you walk out of home, come back, and you don't even respect them, this was the time to show us that, you know what, we need to value these people because they've stood you from when the lockdown started to where you are right now, and they have been with you. The friendships that we have. When I talked about depression some time back, I was like, for people, for you not to have depression, you need to have this relationship. You need to have these relationships. You need to talk to these people. You need to interact with them. Even when you're not with them, you need to call them and talk to them. And it helps you with that anxiety. It helps you to, you know, it cools you down because you've talked to someone and you're like, okay, I've talked to my loved one. I've talked to my mother. I've talked to my father. I've talked to my children. And it just helps us. So this was a time that showed me that we have to value people. We have to value our workers. So our employers, you have to value our families, you have to value our relationships. And then that leads me to point number four, which is relationship matters. As in, this time around, we are locked up with our families. We aren't going anywhere, you know, and then with our friends. So we needed them to go through this period because to some, like I said, depression, you would have been depressed, but these people have been with you. They have, you know, helped you go through this, and they are still helping you. And in case you did not have this good relationship with them, now was the time for you to bond with them, to put your differences aside and say that, you know what, we are going through this as a family and we are going through this as friends, because our relationships with the people that we love, with the friends that we have, with the families that God has gifted us, close or distant family members, we really needed each other during this time. And yes, it was a time for us to work on those relationships, on those bonds, to make sure that we iron out those little things that, you know, affects these relationships. And point number 5 is savings. You people, more than ever, I learned that we have to have a saving plan. In case you do not have it, I'll be doing a full video about savings and telling you more about how to save and all those other things that go with savings. Now, this time round, if you did not have savings, if you had not saved and you lost your job along the way, and you had a family to feed and you did not have savings, trust me, you went through what we call some hard time to be able to feed that family. And it would, and at this point, must have taught you that saving is really important, that you have to save from that you get, whether you're self-employed or employed by someone. You need to save for the times that you don't know, for the uncertainty. Or even me, sometimes I always say, it's not only for the uncertainty. Sometimes we save even for the good things that we want. So this time around taught us that we have to save more than ever. We have to keep something for ourselves, to wait for periods that may come uncertainly, that may come up uncertainly, like this period. Like I said, no one knew that other 2 months they would lose jobs, their salaries will be decreased, they would not be working, earning any income. So it just teaches us that we need savings and we need them more than ever. And 6 is one job is not enough. Now, I talked about this some time ago, but I'll still emphasize it. One job is not enough. We need more than just one job to survive. Because imagine if you lost your job in this period, because some people lost their jobs and there are so many. Imagine your salary was decreased by a certain amount, and yet you had planned for it, but your employer woke up and said, you know what, your salaries are going to be decreased. You don't have a way out, and you're like, okay, I have children to take care of, I have a family in the village, you have a lot that is going on. And imagine you also woke up and your employer said you don't have a job anymore. And for the people who woke up and their jobs were like, they were not considered essential, like the president was calling it, that we have essential jobs and non-essential jobs. So you're at home and you're not working. What does this say? It says, and it reminds us more than ever, that we need just more than one job to be able to meet the expenses of our lives, to be able to live the lives that we want to live, to be able to handle the next step. For example, if you had another job and they told you that, you know what, you don't have a job anymore, this office, we are not, and your employer said that, you know what, sit down until further notice, I'm not giving you a salary. If you had that other fallback job, like maybe a boutique or mobile money somewhere, trust me, you would feel the pinch, but then you would also say, I made a right choice of starting another job, and I made a right choice of starting something besides the job that I was doing. And yes, even if you're into self-employment, and for example, you're a farmer, it doesn't mean that you should only rear cattle. If you only have cattle, you can still add on to that you have. Maybe add on birds, chicken, maybe add on goats or other things and rear them, and they help you build your income. So this time more than ever taught us that we needed to have more than just one job. And point number 7 is the internet. You people, the internet is both good and bad, but this time around, trust me, it has taught us that we need technology. You need that job of yours, however small it is, you need to have a plan for it. You need to put it out there. You need to put it out there, and you need to show people that, you know what, this job is there and I can come and do this for you. You needed to be on that internet space, not just for the news, but for you as a person. Yes, this time around more than ever we needed the internet, because you know, if you're selling clothes and they tell you your boutiques are not working, sorry, the arcade where you're working from is not working anymore, what do? You needed to fall back to your online delivery, and you're like, you know what, I'll be delivering online. I've seen stores that closed totally and completely, left buildings, and they're like, no, we are now going home and we shall be doing delivery. How beautiful is that? So this time round showed us that we need the internet, and we need to get on it for the right reasons, not the wrong reasons. We need to get it to sell our products. What products are you having? There are platforms like Gigi, there is Jumia, and on these platforms you're allowed to go and sell your things. Have you utilized them? If not, what are you waiting for? Have you started that side job that needs you, that you think needs to go on the internet? Do it. This is the time. You need to do it, and you need to start it up. That leads me to lesson number 8, which is being grateful. People, every time I wake up alive, I'm like, King of glory, I give you the praise and honor. Like, thank you, God, because I'm alive. I'm like, thank you because I've seen another day. I'm like, God, who am I that you chose I should be alive during such a period? God, thank you for taking me throughout this whole lockdown period. God, I'm grateful because I have my family. God, I am grateful because you've given me beautiful people, for the friendships that I have, and I'm grateful to those people that they are in my life. Our families that have stayed with us throughout this, I want to use this opportunity to tell them that to my family, I am grateful. They've carried us through. They've seen us. Being grateful for those little things, the food that you eat, that, you know, being grateful that God has seen us through this. I am so grateful that God has seen me through this. And you who is watching me, I'm grateful that you're also part of this journey. I do not take you for granted. So in case you've not yet subscribed, please, this is the time to subscribe. And that leads me to lesson number 8, which is equality. People, we are equal. If you thought we are not, this situation should teach you that we are all equal, and we are all beautifully and wonderfully made by God. And God loves us. That is why he has left us here. That is why he has seen us through this situation. So we are equal. Do not be intimidated by people by thinking we are not. We are all equal, and God loves us in whatever situations that we are in. And that number 10 that I've picked out of this whole period is health is wealth. Your mental, your physical, your spiritual, name all the types of health that you know needed to be in order. And in case they are not in order, visit a doctor, see a counselor, see someone to help you with all these kinds of health, because you know you need your health to be in the right position. Now when we go to physical health, we are in the lockdowns because of our physical health. Like, no one wanted to get the virus, so the lockdowns helped us. And yes, as we are going back to the world, as we are going back from home, as we are going back to work, and the lockdowns being eased in different countries, we need to wear the masks, we need to wash our hands, we need to use sanitizers, we need to wear gloves. So this just says a lot that health is wealth, and we should take care of our health. If you need to see someone if you need to visit a doctor to tell them about your health, mental health, physical health, spiritual health, if you need to see any of the people that help out with these kinds of different health, then you are free to do it, because your health matters a lot. Those have been my 10 lessons that I've learned during this lockdown, or I've learned more for some I knew, but I've learned more. What are yours? What have you learned more during this lockdown? What lessons are those? Are they good? Are they bad? Are they positive? And they negative? Are they positive? Are they negative? Tell them to me. Go to the comment section and let's have a discussion there. It has been me, Victoria Nanozie. Remember to subscribe, like, watch, comment, and share. See you in another video. Ciao.